Hi Pisces, welcome to your August 2020 General Tarot reading. It's Raina here. So for that person who said that I post Pisces last, I just proved you wrong. Because this is, I think, the third reading I'm doing. Aquarius? I think I said a particular sign once to Pisces, and I'm like, oh my God, you said, I think I said Libra. And they're like, oh my God. I couldn't believe it. Okay. Oh no. I didn't want to do that. Oh well. Okay. So, and excuse my creaking chair. The heart of the matter is the Ace of Swords, which is a card of mental clarity, and aces can be the catalyst for, you know, new beginnings. It can be symbolizing new beginnings. Clarity of mind can have different connotations. Like, for instance, if I see here, like, I immediately saw something that connected with the path of career. I think it was because when I got this as the final card that it kind of gelled with me, because it's really funny. I was reading about Pisces not too long ago, and they were talking about how it's such an indecisive sign, and I never really thought of it that way. And so now that I've kind of added that, I could see, and I think indecision in general is about doubting yourself, doubting your own perceptions, but also your own desires, you know, because I look here at the past position, we have the star card. And to me, this is like going after your dreams and having healing after a period of turmoil, something along those lines. Now, the thing that I want to say about this whole thing is that I believe that we are entering a phase right now where a lot of people, and in some cases this is not even a conscious decision on their part, but they are gravitating towards what they came here to do. And maybe you could call that the part of the ascension process, where it's kind of like life becomes better, it becomes easier, because we get to do what we want to do. It might have something to do with that, and that means that everything works out so that we're able to do these things. But if that is not currently happening, it has to be something that is conscious. And that, but I think it is becoming conscious with people, where they're seeing, like, you know, I really don't want to do that, but I want to do this. And they're giving themselves permission to make their dreams come true. And I think I can only go by myself. I think for a long time, I assumed that if something was going to happen that was so amazing, it was going to just drop in my lap. You know, it was a very passive mentality. And at some point, I realized, wow, I actually can do this myself. I mean, I think I didn't give myself permission, or I didn't think it was possible. This is how much we get indoctrinated to be passive in one way or the other. So I just hope that if there are some Pisces out there who still don't feel like the Ace of Swords, who still feel kind of indecisive, and actually we do have as your challenge card the Seven of Cups, which is actually connected to Neptune and therefore Pisces. The sense of confusion And the cups represent desires, and you're one of the cups because of the water signs. The water signs are connected to cups. And one of the things about desires is that we can have conflicting desires, and this is why mental clarity is important, because the longings that we have can cancel each other out sometimes. But the Seven of Cups can be about wishful thinking, and I always say that I really like that term, but it's not meant to be liked. It's meant to be kind of a negative thing where a person is not very practical, or they want something, but it's far-fetched. It's something that is hard to manifest because it's too much too soon, or maybe they want something that they don't have a talent in to the degree that they have to make it happen. But Pisces people can be incredibly talented, and maybe it's one of those cases where you neglect your talents and you go after the things that are not as developed and kind of praise those things because you take your talents for granted. I think that could possibly be the case, and it reminds me of the person who neglects the individual who cares about them and chases the person who is indifferent to them. It's kind of like the same mentality, if you will. So I think that it's important I think self-love is really important, because then you really believe that you're deserving of spending your time during the day doing what you love to do. And not denying how important it is. Now, some people, they're just kind of workhorses, and they just go to work, and they just love the fact that they have a job, and that is beautiful. That is not what I'm talking about, because in those people are actually quite lucky, because they can do practically anything and they'll be happy. It's just the act of being productive that is important to them. But for people who feel who feel miserable doing what they're doing right now, and they know that it's not something that they're temperamentally cut out for or what have you, it can be really great to start to work, to give yourself permission to do something that is much more in alignment with your talents, skills, abilities, as well as your passion in life. And so you don't have to be in confusion if those are the criteria. The higher message, which we're looking at it from the more spiritual perspective, this situation is the World card, which indicates the end of a cycle. Sometimes this can be a timing card. You are having a full moon in your sign on September 2nd, so it's possible that in a little bit more than a month, when you have your full moon, that'll bring something to culmination within you that has to do with your life in general. And that can help you to get that closure so that you can move forward, because that's really what the Ace of Swords is about, is forward movement. If this is a relationship issue, this can be connected specifically to an Aquarius that you may have not realized what was really going on, and now you understand it better. If I had to guess what the problem is, I would say that you may have read into their, whatever the situation is. Maybe you were having a friends with benefits situation and you didn't even realize it. You just really connected as friends, and you had this physical relationship and assumed that it was going to automatically lead to something more, and it didn't. But it's just kind of admitting that to yourself, I guess. And really what the Seven of Cups is always about for Pisces is, don't allow yourself to lie to yourself, because the reason a Pisces person would lie to themselves is because it provides them that escape. Neptune, your ruler, loves to escape. It loves illusion. It loves fantasy. And escape allows you to get away from the harsh realities of life every now and then. And I think it is important. I don't think escape is a dirty word, but it's just, you know what I mean. When it's done in a defensive manner, then it becomes something that is, it actually can hurt you. So you don't want to allow that to happen. What is coming in is the Nine of Wands, and this is kind of like getting your fortress all prepped. And what just came into my head is incoming missiles, okay? There may be somebody around you who would feel threatened if you go after your dreams, okay? So I'm beginning to feel, just by my own experiences, more and more that it's really good for us to just keep our dreams to ourselves. I know that sounds terrible. Maybe there's a Facebook group that a manifestation group or something. But in general, I think that it's good to keep all of these things to ourselves until we have manifested these things, because it's too easy for other people to poke holes in it. And the people that are most likely to do so are people who feel like they're not doing what they came here to do. And so they don't want you to do what you want to do, because then you will show them up and you will show that they have not achieved what they should have achieved. And that makes them feel insecure, bad about themselves, yada yada. So it's important to realize this and keep your boundaries up, keep your defenses up. I don't like to say that because I don't like to encourage paranoia or anything like that. It's not trying to, but just saying that it's always a good idea to nurture your dreams, like tender shoots that need to be protected as they grow into the flower, so that nobody can trample them prematurely. And that when you finally emerge with your plan, your game plan, but it's actually not a game plan. I mean, it could be the actual business that you create, or the actual novel that you write. Rather than saying, oh, I'm going to write the great American novel, just write the damn thing. And then, after the fact, they can poke as many holes as they want, but it's already a done deal. In some cases, you may even want to launch it by yourself until you are sure that nobody else can destroy what you have created. If this is some kind of a relationship issue, be on the lookout for this person to come back into your life. Actually, the Aquarius might be the good guy. It might be a fellow water sign who's the one who's effed up. Because that's in the challenge position. Yeah, I was just thinking about this because the star, and I'm being literal just in case there are Aquarians that you're interested in. But in general, if it's any sign, the star card is simply saying that this person may be very inspirational to you, healing to you, and makes you realize that not all people are like the Seven of Cups. And that person may even have addiction, mental illness, something like that makes them act the way that they do. And you may now realize that. At first you may have thought, because sometimes these people present themselves as a victim. Everybody is against them. These are, if it's really bad, they could be actual covert narcissists who are trying to get you to buy into this idea that they are the victim, that everybody's doing things to them. Now, they may have been a victim in their past, but they continue to identify as a victim and they don't help themselves. So these kinds of people typically will make a beeline to empaths, which Pisces people tend to be born as. And empaths meaning that you're a very feeling person, a natural healer, somebody that wants to help others, and they want that kind. It's a form of being an energy vampire. They're looking for somebody who, they're not evil. They want to feel better, but they're not doing that work themselves. And there's no way that you can pour all of those good vibes into somebody and expect it to work. Excuse me. This is the first reading I'm doing. Oof. But people you can only pour so much into a cup. Eventually, if you can't pour enough into a bottomless cup, let me put it that way. And these people tend to be like, bottomless cup folks, where they're just constantly, it's never good enough for them. So you can't get caught up in that, what I would call that trap, because they can very easily be the kind of person who tries to convince you that you're their savior or something like that. The outcome is the Eight of Pentacles, and this is a great card for just getting down to brass tacks, being productive, generating wealth, doing constructive things with your life. This is not constructive. Dealing with people who won't help themselves is not constructive. This is the Eight of Pentacles can indicate some kind of training that you're going to undertake that has to do with whatever it is that your passion is. Sometimes this training might be self-taught. It's not a given that it's going to be that you're going to get a certificate or anything like that, but you could, if that's, where your interests lie. So it's just a very good card for somebody who is taking their work seriously in life and striving for excellence, I should say, too. Okay, that's what I have for you, Pisces. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you would like a private reading, please check me out. I have a special deal going on a combination natal chart interpretation and a tarot reading, if you like both of those things together. Check me out at rainamoonastrology.com. The link is below. Take care. Bye.